I thank you for your continuing viewing and perusal of these videos on the story of Jesus as recorded in the Gospel of Matthew. In the following bit, we are going to be looking at Matthew chapter 19 and verse 22. We will read one verse, and this study Bible has the New King James translation. Matthew chapter 19 and verse 22. But when the young man heard that saying, he went away sorrowful, for he had great possessions. The institutional church is not the church of Jesus Christ. The institutional church is can be as ungodly as any other human institution out there. It's just that we in the church generally do a better job of hiding our sins because we know we got to be holy and righteous. We do not have pride in the church. No, we do not have pride here. We have testimonials, ladies and gentlemen, testimonials of how God has worked in and through us for his honor and glory. We do not have sexual sins in the church. No, we don't, because we don't deal with things like that. They don't exist if you sweep them under the rug and carpet, folks. We do not have problems with money in the church. No, we don't. The church is simply blessed of God. And so we have the finest and latest of gadgets so we can worship God in high def and in vivid color. No, the church is the church and it's of God. And we have leaders for whom God has blessed the church, and therefore they deserve a cut of what we take in. Oops, I meant that they should be blessed for what they have given the church. The church is not free from the sins it has. And here, clearly, I'm talking about the institutional church. And we should never, ever fall into the trap of confusing the institutional church with the church that is the body of Christ. Yes, the body that is of Christ, that is the church, has to operate in the realm of the church. We need organization, structure, discipline, the creeds, theology, the sacraments, ministries, so on and so forth. Those require organization and structure and lead to the institutional church. But the institutional church in and of itself is not the body of Christ. And the problem, of course, is that we know in the church that we are supposed to be different from the world around us. And one of the negative ways that it impacts the church is it leads us to a denial of sin. Because if the church denies sin, then we are doing what we're supposed to be, which is being holy and right. And one of the ways you deny sins, well, is you repackage them so that they're no longer sins. The fact is, and let's be profound and deep here, if it looks like a duck, waddles like a duck, and quacks like a duck, guess what? It means it is a duck. The institutional church, for example, has always had a love affair with money. Since we confuse the body of Christ with the building and organization called the church, it is so easy to justify our attitude on money. Now, understand here, I'm not going to say all megachurches, but I'm going to say one of the problems with the megachurch movement, again, not all of them, but one of the problems with the megachurches is they have made a deal with the devil. That is harsh, very harsh to say, but I think it is justified in most cases. We build these colossal structures, and these colossal structures are going to need bucket loads of cash to keep them going. You're not going to be able to run these churches without major infusions of cash. Now, we can justify this and justify those expenses by saying, look at what we are doing or looking at who we are reaching. But we need to be honest with ourselves. The running of the institutional church at times is a giant sponge absorbing money left, right, and center. Now, when you read this passage, did you hear the pop in this verse? Jesus, in an unmerciful way, pricked the balloon of this young man. He was wealthy and he could have bankrolled those disciples. In fact, he could have bankrolled a second set of disciples. Think of how many more people could have been reached for the kingdom of God. Think of the efficiencies that could have been brought into Jesus' ministry and outreach with an expanded staff. Think of how that money could have been used to create a publications division. Think of how that money could have been invested in horses, thus allowing Jesus and his disciples a far more efficient and quicker means of transportation around Galilee. Think of how that could have led to an expanded market penetration with the gospel message. The point is that Jesus showed absolutely no vision at this point. He told this man to go and sell what he had and give it to the poor. There is a serious disconnect between the institutional church and Jesus when it comes to money. And again, understand this is a sweeping generalization, and it's not going to be true in all cases. Money corrupts all facets of the institutional church. The question we have to ask is the church really hearing Jesus on this point? I suspect that the church has a condescending attitude to Jesus when it comes to his view on money. Jesus, you do not get it. It takes a lot of money so we can have a worldwide impact in our ministry. Jesus, you do not get it. If we want top-notch talent and leadership, we will have to pay the bucks. Jesus does not want our money. He wants our lives. Jesus is about following him no matter what. Jesus wants a church that is focused on him. Money will not ultimately make the church go forward if we understand that the church is the body of Christ and not the institution called a church.